to another episode of Coffee with a Curator. You know, we've been doing a lot of different exhibits now for a long time, Roy. I can't really remember how many episodes we've done, but I don't know that we've ever given you a layout of the museum and like coming from a visitor's point of view. So today we thought it would be kind of interesting if we start at the front door, as if you're coming into the museum for the first time, and we can give you a kind of oversight of how the museum is laid out. But I'm going to turn that over to Roy, who doesn't have his coffee again today, but I'm going to turn it over to him anyway. So Roy, give us a tour.
I've been drinking coffee all day. I need to quit.
Okay.
First, when a visitor comes in, we get them to sign our login sheet. This way, we can see how many people we have collected up over a year, and it helps us to get grants, and we really need them to do that. Sometimes we miss, but usually we let people do that. And over here on this side, this is temporary. We're gearing up for a gala, but the women that come to the gala can put on a denim shirt and a polka dot scarf and be Rosie the Riveter for the camera. So that's up to them. Gift shop area is over here to the side. And over to the other side. And Holly, who is trying to keep up with walking around while we're talking, she's responsible for the gift shop and has done a remarkable job with it besides all of her other duties. Now we're in the first hallway. We have a small display on Shuttle, and then at the very back we have a very large room on Shuttle. It's a tremendous amount of information there. On the way down, we're lined with some photocopies of actual lithographs. The lithographs we have for sale. They're stashed. We may be out of one or two of them, but there's really fine artists that have done these. Good decorations down the hallway. And when we have visitors, we try to get them to take a pen and put it in the map. So if you live in this general area, you might have a hard time finding a place to put it. If you care to move to Montana, there's a lot of open space. Please feel free to do that. And we have a lot of 12-year-olds that think they live in the Gulf of Mexico, so it's got a lot of holes in it. I don't know how it keeps water anymore. In the past, we have highlighted this timeline from World War I up to Iraq and Afghanistan. Farther on down that hallway is a theater with 47 seats, and also displays on model planes and ships that Gary has talked about. And we'll get into Gary's work on another one. I know we've already talked about it. All right, main hallway. First room on the left, James A. No room. Civil War, First World War, Second World War, Army. And some good items such as the Tuskegee Airmen. A little story on James A. No himself, who was quite a character. Across the hall from that, we have the Gus Peterson Room. He was actually at Pearl Harbor when it took place. And mostly Navy in here. The next on the hallway will be the Culpeper Room. He was a World War II paratrooper. And some good items up on top. We have a wounded soldier on a cot receiving blood from a transfusion bottle that we ordered on Amazon, advertised as being from MASH. Anyway, good weaponry, including an unissued .45 automatic and a Johnson semi-automatic rifle, along with an M1 Garand and a few others. Hundreds of stories all through the museum. Back to Navy across the aisle. And we have great information on Rosie the Riveters and the WASP, the Women Air Force Service Pilots. some good uniforms, a nurse's uniform with a full-length cape. It would really keep you warm in the wintertime. Now, why don't you let them know something about the history of the building itself?
Okay. This building actually was built in 1942, and we've talked a little bit about it as far as it was for the Selman Field Air Corps Navigation School, the largest navigation school in the whole United States in World War II, graduating 15,000 navigators. Now you'll notice this is an expanded area, but when you look at it, it actually is a barracks up front of 3,000 feet, a barracks in the middle of 3,000 feet, and a barracks in the back of 3,000 feet. And what they did were they stuck these barracks in this configuration so they could have more expanded space for offices or classroom. We've never been able to officially find out exactly what this particular building was used for, but we do know it was either used for offices or classrooms.
From the air, it looks like a giant H. Thank you. You're going to hear some background talking and music as we're going through, and that's because we have a number of small videos going, clips from interviews that veterans have done, such as Ron Griggs over here. This room is Korea along that line, and the rest of the room is mostly Vietnam. And it's named for a gentleman by the name of Bo Shaw, who is actually World War II. And his plane had to ditch in the Mediterranean, and he was rescued by the Germans. They landed a float plane. He had to paddle over toward it, take his pistol out, drop it over the side, get in, spent the rest of the war in a POW camp. Back over on this side, the Kitty Degree room. Kitty Degree was a young lady that was in the Coast Guard during World War II. But she did well after she got out and was very generous with her donations to various causes. The nursing school at the university is named after her. It's the Kitty Degree Nursing School. She was short, about 4'11", but she met Madam Chiang Kai-shek, she met Eleanor Roosevelt, and she's quite a lady. I didn't get to meet her. Yes,
One thing I would like, Holly, if you'll turn around, this is Ron Griggs that's speaking here, and we talk about the museum, and we're showing you today that we're much more than just individual exhibits, I think. And another thing we do is Veterans Oral History. So that's playing right now shows you how we set up our Veterans Oral History. We do a little bit different now. We set the military flags behind them. But I would really encourage you, if you know somebody that's been in the military and did any kind of service at all, peacetime, wartime, please encourage them to come and give us their oral history about their story of service. So, excuse me, Rory.
Certainly. Let's go on down to the last hallway. And we have a World War I diorama, but a sweet lady from Delhi, Louisiana, a passion for World War I, went to France and Belgium and took 200 to 300 photographs and put on this slideshow, created this diorama. Didn't like the way the figures were painted, stripped them to bare metal, and then repainted them by hand. That's a good 4 hours each. We have the celebration for the end of the war. And so when she finished the first one, then she did this one. So you have French troops in the background and U.S. troops marching and 3 German prisoners of war. And that leads us into the next room. Turn those lights back on. There we go. And we'll do this very quickly. This is going to be the Delta exhibit, which we just highlighted a few weeks ago. And then on into the diorama on Selman Field, and a good aerial photograph at the end that shows what the base actually looked like with 500 buildings and up to 11,000 people on base at one time. The cabinets on either side go from Augusta Selman who the field was named for. He was a Navy seaplane pilot killed in the 20s. And farther on down and along this wall, photographs from the Smithsonian, actual fabric from the planes that are in the photographs, including one of Amelia Earhart's planes with her in the photograph. She liked red. Then we're going to conclude with this room. We're not going to hit the Shuttle room. We've done it before. We'll do it again. This is our local astronaut who did 4 space shuttle missions, 2 as pilot, 2 as mission commander. And that little thing in the case down here is an actual moon rock.
He floated for 20 minutes and loved every minute.
And then 2 test pilots that we have featured down on this end. And I think we'll go ahead, we're running long already. We'll stop it now and pick up the Shuttle room another time. It needs to be done separately anyway. Nell, any comments?
Yeah, I think that's a good overview, Roy, because every week we show them exhibit by exhibit, so it may look like it's just really small. It gives them a good overview that we have 11,000 artifacts on display. I mean, we're so much more than we can show, and so hopefully today you kind of have a bird's eye view of what we have. And glad you mentioned the gala. The gala is a week from Saturday, October 16th. Fabulous Equinox Orchestra. If you haven't bought your ticket, please go to our website and look it up, and you can buy your tickets online there. You can come by the museum. We have plenty here. Just let us know. But it's going to be a really good time. USO show.
Louisiana seafood.
Louisiana seafood by Thurman's is going to be prepared, and you can play dress up if you want to, 40s dress, or you can just come as today if you would prefer to do that. But anyway, thank you for joining us, and we hope you'll share us, like us, and please go to chenaultmuseum.org, become a member, or send in a donation so we can keep bringing you all of this great, wonderful museum for you to see.